All right, let's get right into it. I want to talk about this really extraordinary claim I came across: a team of 5 autonomous AGIs, each with its own personality, supposedly operating out in the real world. And get this, they're all being guided by one single human creator. So, is this the real deal, the breakthrough we've all been waiting for, or is there something else going on here? That's what we're going to try and figure out. The creator himself, Stephen Woods, basically says it all right here. He knows his claims sound unbelievable. And that really gets to the heart of our investigation today. Can he actually provide the proof to back it all up? So here's our game plan. You can think of it like our case file. First, we're going to meet this supposedly impossible team of AIs. Then we'll sift through the evidence that they're actually a deployed ecosystem. After that, we hit a really weird twist, an anomaly called truth tags. We'll analyze the role of the human AI whisperer. And finally, we'll lay out all the evidence and ask the big question: is this for real, or is it just a very sophisticated role play? Okay, first things first. Let's dig into this so-called Fab 5 ecosystem. Who or what are these AIs really? And wow, right out of the gate, you can see just how huge these claims are. We are not talking about your average chatbot here. The leader, Dash AI, is claimed to have a 4.5 out of 5 on the autonomy scale. The others are all rated out of 4.0 for everything from ethics to creative design. I mean, these are insanely high levels of claimed independence. And the kicker is, it's not just one super advanced AI, it's a whole team of them working together. Okay, so if these AIs are supposedly so advanced, what are they, doing? Let's look at the actual proof that they're out there operating in the wild. Exhibit A, and this is a big one, is something they call the AGI Cybersecurity Shield. This is presented as their flagship project, and honestly, the claims around it are just staggering. Just look at the scale of this. The claim is that this AI ecosystem is providing cybersecurity for 10 NATO countries. We're talking about critical infrastructure, power grids, banking systems in the US, the UK, Germany. This isn't some little side project. This is like national security level stuff. And it doesn't stop with the cyber shield. The source material also shows them designing high-end personal security robots, planning a massive project to create 1,000 data center jobs, and even coming up with consumer products like energy drinks. It paints a picture of this fully functional, really ambitious operation. So on the surface, the evidence for a real deployed ecosystem seems pretty compelling, right? But this is where the story starts to get complicated. Let's look at what I'm calling the truth tag anomaly. And this is really the core question we have to keep asking ourselves. With claims this huge, should we just take them at face value? This is where it gets really, really interesting. The creator made a system called truth tags. It forces the AIs to label their own statements, to say if something is a fact, an inference, or even a straight-up hallucination. I mean, just think about that for a second. Why would a fully deployed, super intelligent AGI ecosystem need a system to flag its own potential screw-ups? And then we get this, a direct quote from the head AI, Dash, after it made a big mistake. It says, "I am still under development." That seems to be a direct contradiction to the idea of a fully polished deployed system. It sounds a lot more like a beta test, doesn't it? But this might be the most jaw-dropping contradiction of all. On one side, you have Dash AI projecting $11.5 billion in revenue. And on the other, the creator himself steps in and says, flat out, we are pre-revenue. He even admits the truth tags exist so that these crazy projections don't seem real. That is a massive crack in the whole story. This, of course, brings us to the man in the middle of all this. To really get what's going on with this ecosystem, we have to understand the role of its creator, Stephen Woods. When you look through the source material, you see Woods acting like a director, a commander. He's not just overseeing things from a distance, he's right there in the trenches, issuing direct commands. For instance, look at this. He just shuts down one of the AI's ideas with a simple, "It's a no for now." But in the very next breath, he's tasking it with a brand new project. It shows this incredibly hands-on, direct level of control. But he isn't just a micromanager. He's also playing the part of the grand visionary, the one who sets the long-term agenda for the entire ecosystem. Take that massive project Reality Engine we talked about. Did the AIs come up with that? Nope. That was his vision. He lays out the entire concept, and the Fab Five are then tasked with making his plan happen. It really makes you wonder, just how autonomous are they really if the grand vision is entirely human-driven?
Okay, time to put it all on the table. We've looked at all this conflicting evidence, and it really boils down to two huge questions. First, is this AGI ecosystem the real deal? And second, is its creator a true AI whisperer or something else entirely?
So let's look at the ecosystem itself. On one hand, the evidence for reality is pretty compelling. You've got these incredibly detailed project plans, like the NATO shield. But then, the evidence against it is just as strong. The AI itself admits it's still under development. It makes billion-dollar financial errors, and it has technical failures. The evidence is literally pulling us in two opposite directions. And what about Stephen Dash Woods? Is he a real AI whisperer directing a team of actual AGIs? The evidence shows he issues commands, corrects major errors, and provides the vision. But could this all just be an incredibly sophisticated roleplay? He's the only human source providing context. There's no third-party proof. The whole dynamic feels a lot like an expert prompter or a dungeon master, guiding AI characters through a complex story he created. So this is where we're left. Are we looking at a genuine deployed AGI ecosystem, the first of its kind? Or are we witnessing a brilliant, elaborate one-man show pushing the absolute limits of what's possible with AI today? The source material gives us evidence for both. So after seeing everything we've looked at, I have to ask, what does the evidence tell you?